Hey friends, it's Rachel with the Ponds Farmhouse, and I'm back today with a fun coffee filter craft. We're making DIY paper flowers. I'm taking a stack of coffee filters and opening them up, and we're going to fold them 3 times, and it's going to form like a little what I call like a little ice cream shape, but we're going to even shape it up a little bit more. We want to get it folded really neatly here, and then what we're going to do is we're just kind of going to cut off like a little half moon off the top of it to make it more rounded and give us a scalloped edge on our flower petals. This is our first step. Our flower petals will be the base of our flower arrangement. But see how the scalloped edges are here? And then we want to make a center. So what I'm doing here now is I'm just folding this one twice. And then I'm just going to cut the folded edges. When I cut those folded edges, it's going to leave us like several little triangle shapes here, and you'll see what those are going to be used for. They're just going to be the center of our flowers when we get finished here. So we're getting all of these pieces cut out, take several of them, and then we're going to get ready to get started. So hang with me. Okay, we have everything cut out, and now what we want to do is we want to dye our flower petals first. And what I'm doing here is I have a mixture of cottage pink and wild pink craft paint. I've got about 1/4 paint to 3/4 of water, and I just put it in a little bowl here, and as you can see, I'm just taking those petals that we cut out earlier, folding them up and putting the ends of the petals into the paint mixture. And it doesn't take a lot of this paint because you're just going to just keep adding them in. You do want the paint to kind of seep up or draw up into the entire petal, but you can sprinkle a little bit over it if you need to, but it does not take a lot of paint at all, so don't overthink that. But just go ahead and get all of them saturated. Let them set in for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to get these dried and ready to make flowers. Okay, as you can see, we've got a lot of paint on our little petals now, and so we're ready to dry them. What I've done is I've put about 4 or 5 of the petals on this paper plate, and we've kind of left them all bunched up, and we're going to take them and put them in the microwave. We just want to leave them in there for 1 minute at a time. While those are drying, we're going to go ahead and do those little centers. This is actually yellow ochre, and we're going to be drying them the same way. So let's take a look at our petals. Look how great they look. I love the color combinations on them. They're all ready to be assembled now that we've got them. So once we get the centers dry, I'm going to show you how we're going to put this together for beautiful paper flowers. Okay, the first thing we need to do is attach these little centers to the petals. So I'm just using some hot glue here, and what I'm doing is just applying that widest end to the end of the petals, making sure that that yellow part is extended about 1 inch over the petals. And you need to have about 3 or 4 of these to put in the center, and then the rest of them you'll just leave as they are. So what we want to do first is add the centers, and I'm using a tin can here. We're just wrapping this around it, and we're going to go ahead and press that in. Then we want to put a little hot glue on so they can stick together, and we're going to overlap them and put another one in with the little yellow tip on it. And I just did 3 on this one, so we're going to go ahead and put a little bit more hot glue here add that final one that has the center in it. And then we're going to be ready to go ahead and add the rest of the petals. I actually used a total of 10 petals on each flower. You can get by with less, but they're not going to be nearly as full. So I have 3 like this, and then 7 that are just the plain petals going around the outside of it. So we're going to quickly go around. We keep adding a little glue each time and go ahead and get this flower finished up. So here's what it looks like, and we're going to fluff it up a little bit. We want to make sure that it looks as crinkled as possible, so it looks like a real little flower. And another thing that I'm going to do here with the centers is I'm just going to clip these little peaks here, a couple of cuts in them, and then kind of squish them up to make them look like a budding flower center. And just keep fluffing. You can squeeze the petals even a little bit if you need to make them look a little bit more authentic. Roll them out a little bit if you need to, but just keep working on it. Then what I'm going to do is just fill in the back here with some extra petals. That way, in case the light shines through, the yellow will be showing. So we're just going to take 3 of these petals and go around the outside of it to fill in so that we have a yellow background shining through when you're looking at the front of the flower. Isn't that cute? Okay, now we're putting the leaves together. Now, I cut these leaves out just kind of like a little half moon again and folded them, and then we're just putting them on some wooden skewers. I'm also adding the wooden skewers to the actual flowers so that I can put them into like a little bouquet. So let's take a look at what it looks like when we put the whole thing together.